Welcome on in to another edition of Smart Chat here on YouTube.com and Outball as well. Thank you for taking the time to look at this channel. Check out my other two channels, the Tom Brand 1 and Tom Brand 1 Thoughts. I want to give you some of my raw thoughts from November the 28th of 2016. And these thoughts are in no particular order whatsoever. It is the crying game. The crying game. And listen, I get it that it's a work, but it's excessive crying. I mean, every time you win or lose, can we tone down on the crying just a little bit? I'm referring to the match between Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair. And for me, I think if you look in recent history, Charlotte Flair, I think, has, in recent history, okay, she has the package. And Charlotte Flair has grown on me. When I say package, she's intimidating. She plays the heel great. Good on the mic, improved. Bounces off the crowd. Could wrestle. I pick her over Sasha Banks. I see what they're doing with this rivalry. It's going to be a rivalry that, modern day, that WWE is going to build as being a modern day Steamboat, modern day Flair. So for fans being a little bit excited, a little bit upset that the title keeps on switching back and forth, I mean, that's what's going to happen. It adds to the rivalry, to the feud, the title changing. And I don't be surprised if Sasha Banks doesn't even hold the title this long again, because that's, what's been happening. The title has been being, like hot potato. So I see the WWE's building this up there. Okay, it's going to be in the WWE library as one of the greatest feuds for women. They're going to compare it to, Trish and Lita. But, I'm kind of getting tired of Foley saying that the match that these two have been having, it's revolutionary. How exactly is it revolutionary? How about just saying that it's a great match? Revolutionary. Everything with the WWE is revolutionary. Can we tone down a little bit? Because there have been other matches that have been revolutionary. I mean, yes, I know they closed off Raw, but can we tone down the whole Mick Foley revolutionary aspect of things? I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's the little things that matter with me. Storyline wise, Mick Foley is for everything being fair, everything being right in storyline as the commissioner. Seth Rollins last week gets screwed by the combination of Kevin Owens, Sin Cara, who is Chris Jericho under the mask, and he doesn't announce anything, any type of revenge for Seth Rollins this week, nor in storyline does Seth Rollins come out and address what happened last week. It's the little things that matter. He doesn't take an issue with Mick Foley. What he does do is he attacks Chris Jericho in the back and So I guess he gets his revenge on him. But attacking Chris Jericho in the back, in the parking lot with all the cars there. Let's not get it confused. This is not like this this angle, this shot backstage wasn't anything like the greatest brawls in the parking lot. Actually, if you look at it, there were many botches, and they were very cautious with each other, cautious with cars and everything that was there. One thing that stuck out at me, Seth Rollins is trying to get Chris Jericho, so he's chasing Chris Jericho. And one shot there, as opposed to chasing Jericho around the car, Seth Rollins opens the back seat and tries to catch him by crawling through the back seat and get to the other side of the car. Who does that? Who does that? Come on, man. Wouldn't you, if you're pissed at someone, be chasing them? Who goes through the back seat trying to catch him on the other side? It just seems silly to me. What also seems silly is when they missed a spot there. So much so where Jericho is already like hanging out, moving to where he has to move for 5 seconds. Seth Rollins picks up I think it was like a guardrail, and completely misses him, throws it in the opposite direction of where Chris Jericho is. Chris Jericho is just standing there. Why? Why would you do that? It just looks silly. Why just... he picks it up and then Jericho moves out of the way and Rollins is looking at him and he just throws it. Can't we just place it down? I don't know. It just looks silly. Look backstage. Look at that clip. You see what I'm referring to. I said that I'm hoping that WWE doesn't split up, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens, because this is, their comedy gold, and that's typical WWE for you sometimes. They can never really let things play out. They're kind of prematurely looking to pull the plug. Now, is the WWE looking to pull the plug on this friendship? Or are they going to reunite and be best friends again? Kevin Owens still said at the backstage interview after he lost to Roman Reigns that Chris Jericho is his best friend still. So they're obviously teasing a split. I said last week that, I almost think that Kevin Owens needs Chris Jericho more than Chris Jericho needs Kevin Owens, and the way the storyline developed last week, you've seen that's kind of what they were insinuating. So it will be interesting to see what happens with this angle. I was reading on dirt sheets and everything else that people think, they're with the New Day, they're pushing this record of the tag team championship holders, going after Demolition's record, and how many times that they've mentioned this weekend and week out already, that Demolition's record is being broken by New Day. I think kind of like a big middle finger to Demolition for being involved in that lawsuit against the WWE. Now, I've seen some fans have thought, even speculated, that maybe they think that that Demolition might actually appear and stop the record from being broken. And I mean, that the thing with that, Demolition is old right now. Demolition, the old guys, when they make an appearance, how would that look? I mean, it really won't do them any justice. We as people, as we get older, some age well, some don't. I don't think the Demolition has aged well. I think one of them, Axe, is already close to, 70? Smash is in his 60s. And the other thing, too, with that is half of the audience won't even know who Demolition is. Like, who's that? The new kids, they don't know. The new fans, the new audience, they don't know who Demolition is. You kind of seen, and this has been the last couple of weeks, kind of see, you not kind of, but you see cheating by the New Day. They're not winning fair. I could see possibly, once the record being broken, and it will be broken, New Day celebrating, then New Day turning heel that same night after they won the streak, broke the streak, saying, we did it all ourselves, you fans have nothing to do with it, and boom, they're heels again. I could see that coming. I could see that coming. They defeated Gallows and Anderson again. Again. Poor guys, man. And I think they will turn heel. The rumor has been, like, if you believe the dirt sheets, that supposedly come WrestleMania time, Cass and Enzo are going to be getting a push. So I could see Cass and Enzo versus New Day feud. These two really haven't interacted with each other, and I could see that feud happening. Enzo right now has been getting the crap knocked out of him. He literally got punched in the dick this week against Rusev. Cass and Enzo really have nothing to do. They just kind of keep him on TV. That way they could, say your catchphrase, and which everyone knows and everyone participates. So I think Cass and Enzo are being held in the background. Speaking of Rusev, man, don't you find it funny that Rusev, there's something I noticed, that Rusev is like the heel. He is a heel, okay? And in his last couple of feuds, he's always made to look like the victim. He never really seems like he gets his way or his revenge. He's always made to look goofy. The last thing I want to touch on here is we seen Paul Heyman did an interview addressing Brock Lesnar's loss to Goldberg, saying that the Lesnar camp messed up. They didn't take Brock seriously. Blah 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 blah. That Brock, his storyline, had a ruptured rib. I mean, okay, kind of hard to believe just by what happened, because the match was all 90 seconds. But just going back in that, I mean, it's good that they finally addressed it, because we, us in general and wrestling fans, we have a short-term memory. So they didn't mention anything last week. Good thing that they brought it up now to keep it still relevant. Just Lesnar in that match against Goldberg, he just didn't look good. Like, you almost had to question who is the young guy and who is the old guy. I mean, Lesnar, I don't know. He just looked, he didn't look, I don't know, he just didn't look well. So, but you figure, I see this going into WrestleMania, but you figure that Lesnar will get his revenge. I see that happening, him maybe screwing Goldberg at Survivor Series, and then who knows what happens from there. But as far as Raw, it was a good show. I really, can't complain. Hope all is well, guys, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon.